If you're a busy professional with a jam-packed schedule trying to drop a bit of body fat, then this video is going to be perfect for you. Hi, my name is Killian. I have a master's in sports nutrition and exercise, and I help busy professionals to drop body fat in a sustainable way without affecting their hectic schedule. And today I'm going to take you through my routine that I use week in, week out. It's the same routine that I get all my clients to apply so that they can get efficient results and see really good results on the scales, but also save them a lot of time in the process as well. So here is your current problem. Right now you have a jam-packed schedule. Work is just crazy busy. You have a load of tasks piling up on your desk. You also have to look after maybe the kids, or you have a few other commitments outside of work, and you're thinking, I really want to drop some body fat, but how can I fit this into my schedule? And what typically happens is you don't, right? You spend all your time in work, it's completely invested in there, and you neglect your own health, in this case, nutrition. So what then tends to then happen is that you're eating on the go. You're driving by a shop and you pick up a deli sandwich, or you're just grabbing sweets that are in the office or workplace. Or if you're working from home, you're going into the sweet press and grabbing everything there and having whatever's there. Or if you're rushing out the door, you're just grabbing a slice of toast, and then you come home and you just eat absolutely everything, right? If that sounds like you need to watch this video, because in the next 10 to 12 minutes, I'm going to show you how you can eliminate all that, stay on track, buy back some of your time, and drop body fat. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do this in a few simple steps, so stay tuned. As I always say, please, if you're finding some sort of value from these videos, drop me a little bit of a subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated, and it encourages me to make more of this sort of stuff. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Okay, let's break this down into a few simple steps that you can apply to cook up all your meals in under an hour and 20 minutes. Step one, set a set time and day once a week where you can prep up your meals. For example, I do mine every Sunday at 2 p.m. The idea about this is that you're going to create a habit from it. If you do this on 2 p.m. every Sunday, it's just going to become a part of your routine and your schedule, so that if something comes up and you have to miss that certain time, you're going to feel nearly weird that you don't actually do it, because the habit is so ingrained. So set a time and make sure you put about an hour and 20 minutes away once a week to prep up all your meals for most of the week. Again, you need to treat it to a high importance. Don't just say, oh, I have to go meal prep and make a big song and dance about it. Change your perspective here a little bit and start to think, well, if I meal prep all my meals now, I'm going to have everything sorted. It's going to avoid all this excess eating, the boredom eating. I know what I'm having. It's helped me stay on track, and I'm going to hit my goal. Your goal should be of high importance. So meal prep needs to be of high importance. Treat it like you would if you had a booking with a doctor. You wouldn't reschedule that. You'd make sure that you'd move things around in order to get in there, because you can appreciate the importance of that appointment. So I want you to do the same thing with your meals. And ultimately, it's going to be a combination of obviously fitness and nutrition that helps someone transforms, but a lot of it will be nutrition that's going to make someone change, particularly around fat loss, because you've got to create that calorie deficit. So if you're winging it all the time or eating on the go with these convenient foods, you're never going to know what you actually have. Whereas if you prep up some of the meals, it's going to make a massive difference for you. If you're someone who doesn't like to prep up all the meals in one go as well, just even prepare some of the vegetables, the chicken, the simple things, so that when you do get home, half of it's already prepped or cooked, and then you just need to put it together and it's still somewhat fresh. But I really think a lot of people should set a specific day, a specific time where they prep some of their meals up for the rest of the week. Step two, you need to have some sort of system in place. What I mean by this is, if you can create a system that works week in, week out, it's going to make your life a whole pile easier. Okay, because it gets rid of this decision fatigue, it helps you to think clearly on the goal, and it's just one less thing that you have to worry about. Okay, so what I'll always do, right, is 90% of the time, my breakfast is always the same. And most of us will have a breakfast that we enjoy to eat. So figure out what that breakfast is and stick to it, okay? Second thing, what I'll always recommend people do as well is keep their lunch and their snacks the same as well. If you can keep your breakfast, your lunch and snacks the same, you can create the meal up as a recipe once. You'll get really time efficient at creating it up, so it'll take you a lot less time to actually make up the meal. And it's just going to help you stay on track, because you don't have to think, oh, what calories do I need to hit here, or what protein do I have to get in here, because it's all in place, right? And I know some people mightn't like that, and I know some people might want some variance. So if you do, maybe change up the lunch a little bit, but I'd really recommend, especially if fat loss is the goal, to keep the breakfast and the snack the same. For the sake of a few weeks to get down to where you need to be, it's going to be well worth your time. After that, you need to create a shopping list, okay? So what you want to do is, after you've set out your times when you're going to cook, write out the shopping list that you need. Don't include any if, buts, or maybes. Just keep it to the point. And then you're going to obviously go to step 3, which I'm going to show you now. Step 3, order your shopping in instead of going to the shop to buy the shopping. This is going to give you back so much time, and it's going to stop all the faffing about in the shop. Time is key here. You have a jam-packed schedule. You're probably looking after a hectic job, or maybe you have kids to look after. Going into the shop is an added time. Think about it. Getting into the car, driving down to the shop, going looking around the shop, putting all the shopping into the bags, getting back into the car, driving back home. That will probably take you an extra hour, hour and a half to 2, depending on your location. Most places now will have some sort of an ordering system where you can just order the shop online and it will come in. Prime example, this is what I've done, and this is what I do every day of the week, because it saves me time, and time is money. What I mean by this is, while this was being all put together, I went into my office, I created up a meal plan and a fitness plan for one of my clients, and that was one less thing that I had to worry about while my shopping was being ordered and prepared for me. So use that to your benefit. You've got to think about time efficiency. How can we cut a few minutes here and there to give back more time to you? And that is the best way to do it. So you can see here on screen, I've just given you an example of my order, and I just put it in. 15 minutes later, shopping was to my door and I'm ready to go. So let's get into the next step. Step 4, and probably the most important step and the most time efficient step, is you're going to take 10 minutes out, and what you're going to do is scan in all the ingredients that you've got and make them into meals. As you can see here on screen, all I'm doing is I'm creating out the lunch, the dinner, and the snack. I've scanned in all the ingredients and the quantities that I need, and then I'll just create them into a meal. And once I've done that, I can then add them in for the next few days. So once I've all the meals created, I'll add it in for Monday's lunch, dinner, snack. Tuesdays the same, Wednesday the same, Thursday the same. And that is going to save me so much time on a day-to-day basis, because that's the biggest thing for a lot of people. They hate having to constantly track, to scan things in, to weigh things out, and it's just time consuming all the time. Whereas if you can spend 10 minutes before you make up all your meals, adding it into your MyFitnessPal or whatever calorie counting app you use, save it as a meal, and then plug it in for advance, that's you sorted for the week. Obviously, as long as you're not eating other foods, that's it, done and dusted. And this is why I love meal prepping and staying quite similar with my meals, is because particularly on the working weeks when I have a lot of things to be doing, that's one less thing I have to worry about, because it's all tracked and accounted for. My nutrition's all sorted and I know I'm hitting my target and my goal without worrying too much. So for the sake of eating the same meals 2, 3, 4 days in a row, there's a lot of benefits to it. So that's the key step that I want you to focus on, or the biggest point that I want you to take out from all of this is just lump it in, scan all the ingredients, whatever you need, put it in, save it as a meal, and then add it in for the rest of the week. Job done. It's gonna make your life so much easier. Okay, once you've got all the meals added into MyFitnessPal and ready to go, we're ready to get cooking. What I would really recommend here is very simply grab some cooking appliances that are gonna save you time. So things like an air fryer or rice cookers or slow cookers, they're just gonna save you so much time because you can lump it all into the one thing, let it cook away, and you could be focusing on something else. And you're gonna see that now throughout the video. While I'm cooking one thing, I'm cooking about 2 other things as well. So it's just saving me time. Slow cookers are particularly useful, right? If you want to make a very simple chili con carne or a curry or whatever it may be, you can pretty much just add all the ingredients into the slow cooker and just let it cook away. So if you had other things to be doing around the house or whatever it may be, you can then do those while that's cooking, and you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Remember, it is all about time efficiency. Where can we find the best bang for our buck when it comes to time, okay? So these are just some things that I'm gonna be using, and you're gonna see that throughout this video. Okay, so I have an omelet and sourdough every morning, and I cook that first thing in the morning, so I don't need to prep it. So I'm going straight into my lunch, and while I prep up my lunch, I'm also going to start the dinner and my evening snack. So this is a prime example of time efficiency. So for my lunch, I'm gonna be having a pasta pesto. And for me right now, I'm on quite a lot of calories, so I've made some simple swaps. For example, I've added in pasta instead of potatoes, because pasta will have around 340 calories per 100 grams, whereas potatoes will only have about 80 calories per 100 grams. So you can see that one little swap is going to help me get a lot more calories in without completely feeling stuffed. And this is when I get anyone on board who's going through, let's say, a fat loss phase. I'll try to get them to prioritize the likes of potatoes over rice and pasta, because they're going to feel so much more full off the potatoes because they're eating a lot more volume for fewer calories. So that's a key tip if you are in a fat loss phase. For example, with this pasta pesto dish, you could simply take the pasta out and replace it with the potatoes and just have a potato chicken dish. So that's just a key hint there, and that's why I'm really prioritizing the likes of my pasta and then my basmati rice as well. So just simple little swaps depending on what your goal is. So we're gonna go straight into this, right? And if we have a little look at this here, I have the rice cooker bowl and I have my scales. And I cannot stress how important measuring and weighing out your food is. What gets tracked gets managed, okay? It's like you go into your accountant and they're asking, okay, what's the income, what's the expenses? And you're saying, I don't know. Everyone has an idea of what their income is. Everyone has an idea of what their expenses is. Treat your calories the same way. And the best way to do that is weigh out the food. So I need 100 grams of rice per serving, and I'm gonna make up 4 days worth of food. So it's very simple. I multiply 4 by 100 and I get 400. So all I'm gonna do, I've pressed 0 on the scale. So you place the bowl onto the scale, press tare or what the 0 number, whatever it is, and it'll come up 0. So all we're gonna do from there is we're gonna pour in our rice until I get 400 grams. 400, bang on the money, okay? And it's so important to make sure you're weighing out your foods. So that's all now done and dusted, and I'm gonna do the same thing with the pasta. On a side note, we're gonna talk about sauces, butters, oils, and cheese. These are the products that people will never track because they're only putting on a pinch or adding a dollop, and they're the ones that need to be tracked because usually there's a high fat content in them and that's a high calorie content in them. So a very simple hack that you can do to stay on track and know how much you're having is to grab, for example, your sauce. You're gonna put it on the scale and you're gonna press 0. You're gonna then take it off, pour a little bit on, and put the sauce back down again. It will tell you how much you poured, for example, 7, 8, 9 grams, and then you have an accurate way to track how much you've consumed. Because the problem here is so many people will just say, I just had a dollop of oil. A dollop of oil is about 120 calories. Or I've just put a small pinch of cheese on, when in reality they've put the whole hand in and they've grabbed about 50 grams, another 100 odd calories. So that's where a lot of people will get caught out with their calories, is through the likes of sauces and cheeses. So track them. Remember, what gets tracked gets managed. Okay. Rice is in the rice cooker, it's cooking away. We're now gonna do our pasta. So again, we put the pan or the pot, whatever it is, onto the scale. We're gonna press tare and we're gonna pour in our pasta. So I need 110 grams per portion. Again, I'm gonna make this up for 4 servings, so I need 440 grams altogether, okay? So I've just got a little bit of pasta here we're gonna use, right? That little portion there was 60 grams, okay? So you can see why it's so important to weigh out your foods. So just gonna pour all this in. If I have enough, I hope I do. 3, bang. 450, bang, 440. Okay, so that is literally the carbohydrates now sorted for lunch and dinner. That's gonna go on the boil. While those two things are cooking away, we're gonna make up our snack, okay? Actually, before I just make the overnight oats as my snack, I'm gonna get my proteins on for the pasta pesto, okay? So this is literally what I do with all my proteins, with my chicken, my salmon, whatever it is. Going with chicken this week. I'll literally just cut it into a few little slits. I'll throw a little bit of seasoning onto it and I will throw it into the air fryer over there and let that cook away. So you can see what I mean about being time efficient. While one thing's cooking, something else is cooking and I'm doing something else. So I'm effectively able to cook 3 meals in the space of 1, you know? So that's what we're gonna do now. Gonna get that onto the air fryer and then we'll go straight into the overnight oats. Overnight oats are probably the most complete meal that you can make as a breakfast, snack, or on-the-go meal when it comes to fat loss. They're high in fiber, they're high in protein, and it's so easy to make up and stay on track with. This is why I always include it into my diet, whether it's for a snack or for my breakfast, whatever it may be. And you're gonna see how simple it is to make 3 snacks or 3 breakfasts up. We're gonna get our scale, we're gonna pop that down, and we're gonna measure in 60 grams of oats, okay? So we'll add in 60 grams into here. I hope I have enough oats as well, actually. Right, 60 on the button. Again, we just press 0. We're gonna pour in 60 in here. And we're gonna do the same then here as well. So if I was you and I was making up, if I was you and I was in fat loss, I would definitely be including overnight oats. If you don't like oats, you could, use something like Weetabix as a different substitute, but it's just gonna be a great way for you to get your fiber and protein intake in. You can take this with you to work. You can eat it hot, you can eat it cold, you can take it in the car as long as you have a cooler bag. It's just such a versatile meal, and I think everyone should be popping it in. Like, you could just be sitting there at 10:30 at night on a Sunday evening and think, shit, I have no breakfast for the rest of the week. And within 10 minutes, you could have your breakfast sorted. Do you know what I mean? So it's just so handy. And in this, what I'm basically doing is putting in oats, I'm putting in chia seeds. I'm gonna go with 15 grams, just to up the fiber intake. And then I'm just gonna add in a scoop of protein, and I'll mix all of that around. And then we'll add in some low-fat milk, berries, and then I'll just add in a dollop of jam just to make it taste quite nice. And that's it, that'll be my snacks done. So it'll be so, so handy. And you can see while I'm doing this, chicken's been cooked, pasta's been cooked, rice has been cooked. Like, it's just a little bit of like common sense will just help you to get a lot of shit done in a low period of time. So again, I don't even need to weigh this out because it's just a scoop of protein that I need into each. So a level scoop, pop that in there, pop that in there, pop that in there. I'm literally just gonna mix these around, dry mix them first, add in the milk, add in the berries and jam, and that's it done. So give me another 30 seconds and I'll come back to you and you'll see it all done and dusted. And that's it, done and dusted. They are snacks for Monday, snacks for Tuesday, and snacks for Wednesday, all done. So they can go into the fridge now. And all I have to do now is start actually just adding things into their containers and lunch boxes. Okay, so that's the pesto added in now effectively. I'm just gonna mix that around with the pasta. And all that's left then is to add in some cherry tomatoes with the chicken that I've added in too. So I just realized the cheeky feckers didn't actually give me my cherry tomatoes. So I'm gonna have to look back on the order and make sure I didn't just pay for it. And I'll get cherry tomatoes tomorrow and add it into the dish. So it is a pasta pesto dish without cherry tomatoes. Okay, people are probably wondering, how do I evenly portion out the dishes? 9 times out of 10, what I'll just do is by eye. So I'll grab like a spatula and take a level spoon and pour it in, level spoon, level spoon, level spoon. I'll just keep doing that until it evens out. But if you really want a very technical way of doing it to make sure you're getting all the correct portions in, just get a big dish, which I don't have, so I'm using a pot. Press 0 on the scale, and then all you're gonna do is transfer out the pasta or whatever you have. So for example here, we used 420 grams, but with the pasta expanding, obviously absorbing the water and the extra bit of sauce that we put into it, it's coming in at 1 kilo altogether, right? So I just simply now need to know, okay, well, I just need to put 250 grams into each dish. So what I would just do is literally grab one of these, again, just press 0, and I'll just pour in 250 grams. And I'll do the same. Job done. Okay, that's the pasta and the chicken dish, all done and dusted. We will worry about cherry tomatoes tomorrow. So now that that's done, all I'm gonna do is my chicken curry, which is last. Rice is already cooked, so I just need to cook up the chicken and the curry sauce. And all I'll do there is, again, just dump the chicken fillets into the air fryer. While that's cooking away, I'll clean up everything and I'll just put the curry sauce on, and that's everything. Okay, so the washing's done. All I literally need to do now is make up a very simple curry sauce, portion out the rice, and by that stage the chicken will be done. So that's all I'm gonna do. Very simple curry sauce going on. And here's a very simple little hack for you guys if you wanna save on some of your calories as well, is just grab some, drinking coconut milk instead of full cream coconut, the tin or the canned coconut milk you can get, because there's only 40 calories per 100 ml in this one, whereas there's like 100 and something per 100 ml in the other one. So it's just a very simple hack. Now, it doesn't come out as creamy, as thick and as nice, but it will save you some calories. So all I'm gonna do in here is just make up this curry sauce. It'll take me about 5 minutes. I'm gonna dump in some vegetables as well for health and all that sort of jazz. And I'll let that cook away. And then all that's left to do is just portion out And there you go. That is all my meals done. Lunch, dinner, snacks, all accounted for. This took me about 42 minutes, I think, altogether to make up. And that's me sorted for the week. So you can see how simple and effective this is going to be. I now have everything weighed and accounted for, all tracked into MyFitnessPal. I don't have to track anything else in for the rest of the week unless I'm making my breakfast or adding in a snack, whatever it may be. And this saved me so much more time where, when I'm taking my lunch break and I have an hour to eat and get a walk in, it's saving me having to go in and cook something up and then eat and then walk. It's just eat it, go for a walk, back in. So you can see how effective this is. So I'd highly recommend that you apply this strategy week in, week out. If you're not a big fan of doing such a big bulk like this, what you could always do is have a meal prep on Sunday where you cook for Monday, Tuesday, and then you could do another meal prep on Wednesday where you cook for, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then do a meal prep where you cook for Thursday, Friday, if you like a bit more variety. But for me, I like to keep things simple, and that's really how I do it. So I hope you have found some use with that. If you have, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe below. I'm going to be posting a lot more content around nutrition and fitness into YouTube, a little bit more like long form content. So there's going to be a lot more value in it. And I hope you have found that useful. So thank you very much.